Hello, everyone. Lindsay Horvath, your mayor here, wanting to welcome you to One City, One Pride and our annual Pride celebration. On behalf of all of my colleagues, we want to wish you a very happy Pride. We know that Pride in West Hollywood is 365 days a year, but today and all this month, we honor you in a very special way. Thank you for being the best part of West Hollywood.
Hi, my name is Councilmember Sethi Shine, and I just want to welcome you to the City of West Hollywood's One City, One Pride LGBTQ Arts Festival and Programming. And Chloe, the Queen of WEO, and I just want to say Happy Pride!
You'll never know how much I really love you. You'll never know how much I really care.
Listen, do you want to know a secret? Do you promise not to tell? Whoa, whoa, closer. Let me whisper in your ear. Say the words you long to hear. I'm in love with you. Ooh, listen, do-da-do. Do you want to know a secret? Do-da-do. Do you promise not to tell? Do-da-do. Closer. Do-da-do. Let me whisper in your ear. Do-da-do. Say the words you long to hear. I'm in love with you. Ooh, I've known a secret for a week or two. Nobody knows, just we two. Listen, do-da-do. Do you want to know a secret? Do-da-do. Do you promise not to tell? Do-da-do. Closer. Do-da-do. Let me whisper in your ear. Do-da-do. Say the words you long to hear. I'm in love with you.
When I was 9 months old, I was in the playpen with Camille, and I reached over and I bit her on the cheek. I guess I was pretty young. Right. Well, I met her years later when I was in high school. And we were fast friends, but I guess her mother kind of saw that I was a lesbian. She knew it, I didn't know it. And she forbid her to hang out with me. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, Camille she liked me. And we would go to the drugstore after school, and she would say to me, "Phyllis, would you buy me an English muffin and a Coke?" And of course I always would, because I liked hanging out with her and all the other kids. Then there was Rita. I remember the first day of school. Here it is. I'm going into the 4th grade, and I see this girl coming out of this house, and I'm like, wow, she's so pretty. And I knew she was going to my school because she was wearing the same uniform. So I kind of ran up to her, and the first thing I said to her was, "I'm Phyllis." And she told me her name was Rita. and we walked to school together. She was in the 5th grade though, and I was in the 4th, and she hated math. She absolutely hated math. So I would do her math homework for her, even though I was in the 4th grade, and most of the time it would be right. I'd tell her wild stories. Oh, I'd make up these stories, and one time I told her I was a pirate, and I was attacked by pirates, and I even made a little black eye patch for my eye, and I told her this wild story, and she goes along with it. She would always go along with it. Kind of like women today, I still like that. I like to have my fantasies go and have them come along with me. Then when I was 19 years old, I married a man for a minute. He's a nice guy, really nice guy. But I was working in a hotel. My office was there, and on my break, I would go into their restaurant and I would have coffee or breakfast. And there was this woman who worked there. She had this long red hair, gorgeous girl. And I noticed that this woman would pick her up every day. And this woman, she was this tall butch with this jet black hair, and it was all teased up. That was the day, and just every hair in place. And along behind her would come these 4 little kids, all redheads in steps. So I knew they were Kathy's kids. I started to talk to Kathy, and she told me it was the first time that I actually knew that was a valid lifestyle, that you could be a lesbian, you could live with another woman. I had no idea. So she told me that there were 4 gay bars in my town, my hometown. And I went down there. I started to go to those bars at night because Eddie and I had a motorcycle, but we only had one. So I'd ride the motorcycle. I'd take the bike out by myself, and I'd go down to the bars. I came home and I told him, I could see that was just not a way for me to live. That's not where it was for me. And so he said to me, you know what, Phyllis, just go out and do what you want to do. Just come home to me. But I knew that wasn't any good for him. And it certainly wasn't any good for me, not the lifestyle I wanted to live. So I left him. By the time I was 20, I was out of there. The secret was that the host society was so heterosexual, and they had no room for other lifestyles. But since then, of course, I've found out there's so many different lifestyles you can live.
Love walked right in and drove the shadows away. Love walked right in and brought my sunniest day. One magic moment, and my heart seemed to know that love said hello. Though not a word was spoken, one look, and I forgot the gloom of the past. One look, and I had found my future at last. One look, and I had found a world completely new. Good, good.
I look like I'm gay.
Hi, I'm going to talk about my secret relationship with my massage teacher. I met her at the hair salon when I was 24 and she was 50 at the time. She was a Japanese woman, but people called her Jackie because her face looked like Jackie Chan. She was a masseur and she was opening a massage salon and asked me to help her business. Then I went to her apartment twice a week to learn massage techniques. She said her massage technique was amazing and she could make all the people feel like they were in heaven. But I didn't think so at the first because she didn't have any special skills, just used a bunch of different massage machines. But I was hooked on the sensation when she put the machines on me. I had never experienced such pleasure. It was like I was tripping into another world. She was very masculine, and I have to call her master in class. So it went something like this. Master Jackie, right there. I like it. She told me to beg her for more pleasure. Master Jackie, give it to me more. Master Jackie said I was very special, but she asked me to keep our relationship a secret because she didn't want people to think she messed with her students. She also said that I didn't have to love her. I just gave her my fake love because I was much younger than her. I was okay with that, and I went to her lessons for a while and gave her my fake love for more pleasure. About 2 months later, I heard from my hairdresser that Master Jackie didn't have a masseur's license and she had a few more young girls besides me. I was upset and I cried at home. I didn't know why I cried, even though it was fake love. Maybe I missed the pleasure, or I loved her a little bit. It's not the way you smile that touches my heart. It's not the way you kiss that tears me apart. Many, many, many nights go by
I was a new student at the Grand Valley State University, and I was young. I was in my, I think, 27 or 28 years old, and I was taking the elevator up to my class, which was happened to be on the 6th floor of the downtown building. And in the elevator, it started to get really crowded and packed. But luck would have it that as I was in this crowded elevator, this guy walks in, and he was about 6'2" or 6'3" in height, and he was fully dressed in a suit. A young man, he was I think about 25 or 26 years old, and he was all cologned, and because there was no place for him to go, he came right on my body, but he was towering over me, and I was just like taking a whiff of his scent and admiring all his, masculine beauty. And I was saying, wow, what would it be like if I could talk to him or run into him? So anyhow, luck would be in my favor, because as I got off the elevator on the 6th floor and I took a right turn, and I found the classroom where I was going to, attend classes, and took a seat, I noticed that this guy walks right in, and I said, oh my gosh, he's coming right into my lap, so to speak. I waved him, and we had a small conversation. I asked him if he could give me tips on how to what are the fun things to do around here or places to see, and he said he would email me. From there, I think he probably proposed that why don't we go on a road trip, to Holland, Michigan, or someplace that was relatively close. So it began with that, and then we constantly started having road trips around Michigan. Then we took longer trips to Chicago, and I think it's during the longer trips that the intimacy grew stronger. But there was an incident when, or actually two things I remember, that once he was watching the seagulls on the Navy Pier in Chicago, and as he was leaning forward, I went and started taking pictures of his, face profile, because I really liked his jaw and his cut of his face. So I said, okay, great, let me take some intimate pictures of him, of his face line. And he was really like looking at me with kind of like looks like, what's going on here? And the same thing happened then in the mall, Galleria Mall, little later when we were eating food. But we were always very close and everything. But there was these moments of where he was probably questioning himself, it sounded like. And to me, it was like just going with the flow. We're enjoying this great, interaction and chemistry of our trips and everything. There's a lot of flirtation here. And of course, there was sexual attraction, I feel. So that led into, so we were together for about a year and a half. And now we were in 1999, which is the next year. And there was Valentine's Day approaching, so he invited me over for dinner. And when I went in the kitchen, I was wearing this very floral apron. It looked like I was wearing a dress. And then I was baking this cake, and as I was, with the spatula, I was moving around the dough and everything. A little bit was left on my fingers, and he actually took my fingers and he put it in his mouth and started licking it off. So naturally, I took the signal as this guy's definitely into me and attracted to me. So after we had dinner and the cake, we sat down on the couch, and I did a little bit of palmistry, and I was reading his palms for him and telling him about his lifeline and stuff. That's when I stole a moment and I kissed him. And he was very disturbed, and he said, oh, we can't, you just spoiled everything, Raj, and now you have to go. So we didn't talk for the next couple of months. It was very awkward because we were in the same class, and it was very awkward seeing him, and then you've been so close to him for more than a year, and now he's not even acknowledging you or speaking to you. But anyhow, it was like the month of May, and the program was coming to an end for me. I was graduating. So I kind of slipped a note and sent it along through some friends to him, and it reached him. He opened the note, which was scribbled in pen, and I said that I really need to talk to you or something. And he said, sure. And then I went in the back row during the break of the class, interval of the class period. And then we talked, and I explained to him that I was leaving Michigan. I was going back to Kentucky, and his heart melted. He was all warm and affectionate once again. I gave him my phone number at my new workplace, and we did talk on the phone. But by the time I would call him back a couple of weeks later, I think he had left the job and not given me the forwarding number. So I lost touch with this guy for quite a few years until Facebook evolved in the 2000s, late 2000s. And I added him on Facebook, and we're still friends. And he's a very good friend of mine still. And I think that's it. That's the little fun adventure I had with Jeff. You know, we all have an element of a little bit wild in us. And that's my element. I've always believed in stealing moments, because life is just that. You have to steal a moment when it's right in front of you. You don't wait. You don't think. You don't ask your friends for permission. It's never going to happen. You're not going to live your life.
Anne Frank died at the age of 15 in 1945. We've all heard her name, and we know her basic story. Maybe you read her diary in school. I think I did. I did not remember from that diary that she wrote passionately about her attraction to women or girls. She writes of kissing and wanting to caress her friend Jacqueline Van Marzen. Jackie and Anne both went to the Jewish school in Amsterdam after the Franks emigrated to the Netherlands. Jackie's father was Jewish, but her mother was not born Jewish. When things got dangerous for the Jewish people in the Netherlands, Jackie's parents were able to remove the Jewish status from their identification papers. They also removed Jackie from the Jewish school. Jackie survived the war and became a bookbinder in Amsterdam. For a long time, she was reluctant to speak out about that time and her friendship with Anne. Eventually, she saw the value of speaking out to educate the next generation about the horrors of the Holocaust and to keep Anne's memory alive. Jackie has written of Anne, quote, "We had a close relationship and I liked being with her, but she laid a claim on me and I didn't know how to handle that. In my fantasy, Anne also survives and goes on to have a life with Jackie in a kinder world where same-sex couples are given equal rights. They marry and adopt children together. Here is my imagined letter from Anne to Jackie. September 15, 1967, New York, New York. My sweet Jackie, tonight, as my play is opening on Broadway, I am humbled by the incredible support you have always shown me. As usual, I am the center of attention, the light to the moths fluttering around me. I know full well I could not be where I am today if it were not for you. We both toil away alone, me at the typewriter, you binding books. The payoff for me is getting a show on its feet. I thrive on the collaboration with the actors, the director. There is nothing more exciting than the first table read. Well, except maybe opening night, where we are today. Where I am outgoing, you are quiet. With your grace and stoicism, you are the glue that binds our family, my darling Jackie. We have built a life together with our beautiful children, themselves victims of the hideous war we somehow miraculously survived. I feel like we were spared for a reason. As a writer, I am driven to share my stories. You are always patient and understanding, there for me when memories bring me into dark places. Together we do our parts to assure these atrocities will never be forgotten. Thank you for being my rock, my muse, a wonderful mother and spouse. Yours always, Anne.
spin. Come